Hello, hello. I'm your host, Ryan Hernandez again. As I always say, today is a good day. Shalom, salam, and peace be upon you. Looks like we're going to have a storm today. Uh, in fact, the weather thing said that in 45 minutes we're supposed to have one. It says to be looking out for uh, uh, ground, cloud to ground lightning, uh, hail, and damaging winds. But that's all right. All this is done is not. It's out of my control. It's out of your control. It's out of all of our controls. Um, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. I know it's been a couple of days. I said that I wanted to, I said that I had something pretty shocking that I wanted to talk with you all about. This is going to be very, very shocking. On this one, though, I am going to have to take it one step at a time because if I do an entire video on this, I will lose a lot of subscribers, and I only got 21 subscribers now. I know it's not much, but that 21 subscribers, that's a lot to me right now. What if I told you that? Um, well, let me back up. We've been taught, and I know that a lot of you have been told that when the third eye is open, or when your third eye is activated, your pineal gland, it's a kundalini spirit. How can that even be a kundalini spirit? Then that would mean that you're a kundalini or whatever the hell a kundalini is. I'm still not familiar. I know it's a snake serpent spirit or something, but anyways, the pineal gland, the third eye, is located directly in the center of the brain, right straight through here. Your third eye, your spiritual eye. This is practiced in Hinduism, and the Christian has adopted it by calling it, not really adopted it, but by adopted it in a negative way and called it the Kundalini spirit. Um, what if I told you, all you viewers, that your own Bibles, even the Way, the Truth, and the Life himself, talked about the third eye being open? He said that. He even said that if you believe him, that if everything that he says, all these teachings, if you believe on him, be like him, believe on him. He says these kind of works you can do, and not just these kind of works that I do, but greater works even. Let's go ahead and open up to the book of Matthew chapter 6, and let's go to verse 22. And as I said, I'm going to start this off slow because I don't want this to be too much at one time. And the pineal gland, like I said, it's uh, at the beginning of your birth, or excuse me, at the beginning of your creation, um, when you were, let's just say, when you were even still a tiny little sperm. And I know it sounds funny to say, but this is reality. I told you in the beginning of my videos that you're going to hear a lot of facts. You're going to hear a lot of like scientifical type facts. You're going to hear a lot of logic, and you're going to hear a lot of this right here because I do believe in it. I don't worship it, but I do believe in it. Um, and I just lost my train of thought. What I was saying. Oh, the Way, the Truth, and the Life even taught on this, the third eye being open. Oh, that's what I was saying. Oh, when you're a tiny little, like a sperm cell, if you've looked at it with a microscope or pictures of it on Google or whatever, Google it up on microscope. There's a tiny in the head part of this sperm cell is a little black spot. This is full of DNA and uh, life. Now, as that sperm cell settles into that egg, it starts to grow. It grows into us. That sperm cell, if you ever looked at one, it looks like a tadpole. Now, what that is actually your central nervous system. And I wished I knew how to do videos on here where I can talk through the video as I'm showing you guys these things, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. All I know how to do is click record on the camera and talk. But as that body is growing from that sperm to what you see right now, what you're looking at on your computer screen, in the brain, that black spot that you see in the sperm, that's the very center of the brain. That is called your pineal gland. It's still a mysterious organ in the body. Scientists are still not fully understanding it. In fact, like I said, they're still uh, um, studying it, but they're never going to fully understand it because it's your beginning. Let's say this: it is your alpha. Let's say it like that. I said I wasn't going to go too deep into this. I'm going to have to do this step by step. But let's go ahead. Matthew 6:22. If you can get your Bibles at King James, preferably. Uh, for now, 6:22 says, "For the light, or excuse me, the light of the body is the eye," meaning singular. He didn't say plural. He didn't say eyes. So really listen. The Bible says, "If any man have ears to hear, let him hear." That's Mark 7:16. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. He said, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." Now what that means is, he says the light of the body is the eye. He's talking about your spiritual eye. If therefore thine eye be single, don't use these eyes, use your spiritual eye. That is the one that's going to guide you through life. Do you know that without the pineal gland, without your third eye, and look this stuff up, don't believe me, look it up for yourself, do a study on this. Without your pineal gland, no talking will be done, no walking, no breathing, nothing. All things start with your pineal gland. All things start with your third eye. Your third eye is actually your beginning. And like I said, if you look these things up, there are things that can be done. You ever heard of telekinesis? Moving objects with the mind. These are all people that's third eye has been activated. And a lot of people today, their third eye, their pineal gland is calcified. Why? Because of the fluoride in the water. That's an example. The fluoride is the ultimate calcifying the pineal gland. Pineapple juice. Pineapple juice. The only kind of water I would truly recommend to ever drink is Fiji water or Evian. That's my personal thing. But he says, the light of the body is the eye. The light of the body. Your whole being, the light, your spirit. Like I said, I wasn't going to go too deep into this because I want one thing at a time. So let's just leave it at that. The light of the body is the eye. He's talking about your spiritual eye. If therefore thine eye be single, and not this, if your eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Let's go ahead and go to one more thing. The book of John, chapter 14, verse 12. Jesus said this. He said, 14:12. He says, "Verily, verily," and for those that don't know that word verily, means truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. The works that I do, shall he do also. Believe in me. He's saying, believe me, watch me, do as I do. I am your example, and he is your example. And a lot of people, like I said, they call him God. He's not. He's your, whether you like it or not, he's your big brother. He is your brother's keeper. That's why he's so important in a lot of the Christian religion. So because of his importance, he's called God. But he's not. You have to go deeper into the word. So a way that it can be said even is, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believes me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And let me stop there, because I think this right here should have started going into verse 13 where it says, "And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto the Father, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name," and on and on. But in 12, he's saying, I'm teaching you these things. I'm showing you how to even be like me. If you believe in me, believe on me, you'll be able to do even greater works than what I can do. He healed the sick. And you got to remember something. If he was God, everybody would have been able to be healed. But there's scriptures in here that says, and not all of them were healed because of their unbelief. God is not limited, people. Remember this. Jesus was limited. Plain and simple. But that's not the topic. This is not the topic we're on. The topic today is the third eye, opening of the third eye. You know, it's even talked about similar to it in the book of Genesis about the tree of life, tree of knowledge of good and evil. Let me see real quick. Talks about the opening, verse 3, the opening and the closing of the eyes for God. Well, this is when the serpent tempted Adam and Eve. But you know what? I'm thinking something different. And I know a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy, and that's all right. Like I said, I'm not here to make friends. You know, I think it was a blessing, actually, that our first parents got to eat off of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Because there was a video that I'd watched that had said something similar to, you know, if they would not have eaten off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, today we would pretty much be like programmed robots. But we have that free will thanks to our first father and mother. We have that free will, and I want to use my free will for the power and glory of God. I want to use my free will for him to see that I love him. That's my free will with God. But he talks about, you remember in Genesis in chapter 3 about the temptation of man. But let's not call it a temptation. Now that I think about it, like I said, why would God put a plant here, knowledge of tree and the knowledge of good and evil, a tree, knowledge of the tree of life? Why would he put a tree here and say, don't touch it, when everything God created was good? So why would he put a tree here and say, don't touch it? I think personally that somebody else was behind this, and I'll go in later on in deeper detail with this with you on that, because one more thing from my next video. What if I told you God was never mentioned in the Bible? The word God, meaning singular. What if I told you was never mentioned in the Bible? What if I told you in the original, something older than the King James Version, way older, the original manuscript being Hebrew? What if I told you that his real name was Elohim, and not meaning singular, meaning plural? But we'll go into a deeper study on this one from my next video. So if you like my video, I ask that you subscribe, help me share these videos with the world. Let's get these videos out there, because in those last days I will pour my spirit out upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. So once again, help me share these videos with the world. And if you like to subscribe, click like. So once again, as I've said, and I will always say to you, salam, shalom,
and peace be upon you.
And peace be upon you.